Welcome to the Master Info Week of the Università della Svizzera italiana. For the whole week, you will find useful resources such as a welcome from our rector, Professor Boas Erez, a campus tour, testimonials from both current students and alumni, and an overview of USI's graduates' placement opportunities. You can watch a brief description of our students' services and a useful tutorial on how to fill the online application form. Now, you're about to attend a thorough presentation of the master structure and contents. You can ask us any question, academic or administrative related, through the chat below this video or through the form at the bottom of the page. After the presentation, we will answer all your questions during a live session with the director of the program and some guests. Thank you and enjoy.
Buongiorno a tutti. Hello, welcome to the presentation of the Master of Science in Communication, the program Cognitive Psychology and Health Communication. Together with my colleagues, I welcome you here under these strange circumstances to tell you and share with you some information about the program. Of course, needless to add that I'm very sorry that we can't meet you in presence. That would be nice, but I hope that after the presentation you will come up with a couple of questions. Feel free to contact us and write us. Now let's start with the presentation. There is something I would like to tell you and share with you about the program. It's, as you most likely have already seen, it's a joint degree program between two universities. There's on one side the University of Lugano, Università della Svizzera italiana, which adds to the program classes in health communication, public health, health management and marketing, epidemiology and research methods. And then there is on the other side actually the University of Vita-Salute and San Raffaele, which actually brings into this program all the psychological part. You may have heard that University of San Raffaele has a very good program in psychology, and actually we from our side, from Università della Svizzera italiana, developed over the past years quite a significant contribution to the field of health communication and other related classes. Okay, just a bit of information about the University of Lugano, the Università della Svizzera italiana. It's actually still a pretty young university. It has 5 faculties, so architecture, communication, informatics, economics, and starting from coming fall, actually we also have a biomedical science program. It's a pretty international university in Switzerland, so we get our students from many countries abroad, but also not only students, but also instructors are coming from abroad. We have a focus on interdisciplinary education, and as you can see, the ratio of teaching student is pretty low with 1 to 9, so that means actually you can't avoid to meet your instructor crossing the campus. Another kind of characteristic of your university is that we have very strong ties with the business world. We have students who, of course, particularly in the health sector, can easily apply for jobs in Switzerland in the health market. And as you may have heard also, of course, Switzerland is well known for all industries and many other job opportunities in the area of the health market. Good. It's an international university. It's a dynamic and welcoming environment. And so in our program, for example, over the past years, we attracted students from many countries, European countries, as well as also from the United States and Canada. Something about the university, Vita-Salute, San Raffaele, Milan. There are only 3 faculties, medicine, psychology, philosophy. What matters is that these actually are excellent faculties. They have a top private university hospital in Europe, which actually also means that some of our students, for example, end up to work in these universities or in some of these university hospitals, actually in Milan or Lombardy. It's a top level of research in neuroscience and psychology, as I already mentioned before. and they actually have a huge number also of tech laboratories in different parts of psychology. Now let me show you shortly a video was former students for the program, which might give you a more vivid impression of what the program looks like, what the universities are about, because of course it has a lot of nice videos.
Why cognitive psychology in health communication? Well, that is the question that we asked at the beginning when we designed the program. This program has been developed in response to the increasing needs in the health market. The program is focused on the intersection between cognitive psychology on the one side, communication in the health context on the other side. The unique feature of the program is that it has been designed by two universities, USI in Switzerland and UniSR in Italy.
I've chosen this master because I want to receive an interdisciplinary education in the field of communication, neuroscience and management.
I'm taking advantage of an international environment and of studying in two different universities.
At the University of San Raffaele, you'll find a very large number of labs working on human and animal behavior using the most advanced techniques in the field. Also inside the campus, there is the largest and most renowned hospital in Italy, the San Raffaele Hospital, which belongs to the San Donato Group, the largest classical hospital probably in Europe.
This master gave me the possibility of a classic career path as a psychologist, but also the opportunity to work for hospital, companies and non-profit organizations.
What is sure is that I want to work in the health context, and now I feel ready to enter the job market.
This program is intended to train a new generation of psychologists that will act as managers in the field of health communication, prevention, promotion and management. They will be able to examine health-related problems and to implement new strategies for health policy.
Unique,
International.
innovative,
So I'm glad that I could share this video with you, particularly for one reason, because on this video you could actually see two of my colleagues, two of my eminent colleagues. One is Professor Di Serio, who is Professor of Statistics, and the other colleague is Professor Antonio Margaroli. He might actually join us also on the chat later on, so feel free then to ask questions directly to him as well. Okay, now let's move on with this program, with the presentation. There is some technical issue here, sorry for that. So what makes this program a special program? What are the unique features in that? First of all, you have a training in cognitive psychology, neuroscience and communication. This combination itself is actually pretty unique. There are very few programs over the world that actually would offer something. The point is simply more and more people are aware that in communication they need people with a solid training in psychology, and the other way around also. Often in the job market, people look for psychologists who, however, have a fundamental understanding of what communication requires. So this makes this intersection of psychology on one side, communication on the other side, in the broad area of health, makes this program very special in a way. Now, when we talk about cognitive psychology, I think you might have some precise idea because you got already your bachelor degree in psychology. Let me just add one word on communication. health communication has become more recently actually a very important field because people realize that often communication matters a lot. Not only on an interpersonal level where doctors or pharmacists talk to patients or consumers, but also on a more kind of mass communication level. So for example, how can you make sure that people buy communication or prevention programs would also change their behavior and things like that. Another important focus of the program is that we are very eager to train our students in fundamental skills, like say in advanced statistical and methodological tools, as well as in management marketing strategies, simply because the job market for our students will be, among others, also in huge health institutions. That's why we think this combination of management and marketing strategies together with psychology is actually most important. Now, a couple of words on the way how we constructed the program. It's actually split in 4 semesters. We have 3 modules, 1 in psychology, as you can see. Most of the classes actually are in this area of psychology. Then we have a module in health communication, which actually is equivalent to 12 ECTS. We have a module in management, and then we have further on also electives. At the very end, in the last semester, students will not only write their thesis, master thesis, but we are very eager to make sure that students in our program on one side will actually learn and will have a set of strong academic skills, but on the other side, it is important that our students actually also get some exposure to the market. So that is exactly what the field project is about. You are supposed in the last semester to work with real companies in Italy or in Switzerland in the health market, and you will do that actually in strict collaboration with them, which actually, as it happened in the past, sometimes opened, of course, also job opportunities for our students who then later on, I don't know, got a job at Novartis, Roche, or in hospitals in Italy and other places. Okay, that's shortly the overall structure in the class. So in the first semester, we have a focus on communication health. In the second semester, we have a focus on psychology and neurosciences. The third semester has a strong focus on management, along with other classes. And then, as already mentioned, we have in the fourth semester the focus on psychology together with field projects and the master thesis. So to wrap up, field projects I mentioned already. We are very eager to bridge the gap that sometimes exists between theory and practice. Therefore, we actually want to introduce students actually also to some companies in the fourth semester where they can get some exposure and make some important experience in the field. And as you can see, we have well connected to a couple of associations that are prominent in this area field. Here just a couple of kind of groups where our students ended up in different areas, sometimes actually in rather pretty famous and well-known companies. Shortly something on the admission requirements. So what you need to get admitted to the program is actually a bachelor degree in psychology from a recognized university. And also, given that the program is in English without any exception, so all classes are taught in English, therefore you have to make sure that some kind of level of English actually is guaranteed, and that's exactly what we require you to have. This is not particularly difficult. I think most of you are well acquainted with English, and certainly if they need to train further, they can do that actually short before they start the program. That is about the fees. It's 4,000 Swiss francs per semester. For Swiss students, actually, it's behalf of that. And the university actually offers a certain amount of study grants, and so you can apply for these scholarships by the end of July. Here's the deadline. The deadline is actually the 31st of July. Whoever actually is interested but coming from abroad and needs a visa, should apply already by the end of this month, meaning May 31st. Please find out more information on the website http://application.lu.usi.ch, and that is exactly where I want to stop. I'm looking forward to meeting you on the chat later on. Please, I can only encourage you to ask questions. We are happy to take your question and to reply. And as you will see later on, we have colleagues with us. There is also Teresa Cafaro, who is actually the manager of the program, and we have also with us a student of the program who recently actually got her master degree. And sometimes it helps to talk to former students of the program because they can speak out of their own experience and share with you exactly what matters from the perspective of a student. Thanks for your patience, thanks for listening, and see you in a short while in the chat room.
So welcome back. Now it's time for your questions. Here with me we have Professor Schultz, co-director of the master's program, Professor Magaroli from Vita-Salute Raffaele University, and Nicole Bizzotto, who has recently graduated from our master's program. So I would like to start with the first question. So a prospective student asks, what are the future perspectives of students enrolled in this master's program interested in a career in neurosciences or psychology? I would ask Professor Magaroli to take this question.
Thanks, Teresa. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do hear you.
Okay, wonderful. So I must say that, I've been involved thanks to Professor Di Serio in this master since the very beginning. And, I must say that, compared to other programs, with the success of this master program, it's very clear if we look at the career perspective of our students. Essentially, all our students are getting a job either before or immediately after their graduation, meaning that, the program is extremely successful in terms of job perspective. The job perspective are very wide because, as you already understood, the title of the master is a little bit complicated because, it talks about cognitive psychology and health communication, but in the end, the master that you get is a master in psychology, meaning that, it's valid in Italy to do your psychology career, including, the training, the postgraduate training, and also the enrollment in the psychology career. And so, you can go through a psychology specialization, which usually lasts 4 or 5 years in Italy. And so, you can start your career as a clinical psychologist or as a psychotherapist. But on the other hand, the same, because of the wide span of training that, you will get through this master, you can also think about a career in research, in neuroscience. The original idea was to add everything that is needed to become a psychologist to a very diverse set of training in a lot of different disciplines that, essentially will make you fantastic researcher in a lot of fields, including communication, but also marketing, but also, as I said, neuroscience. And so, if you graduate, it will be essentially likely to become to access to a PhD program in neuroscience, or a PhD program in other disciplines which relate to your training. And after that, you can start a career in neuroscience or in research.
Okay, thank you, Professor Magalori. Marco is asking, is it possible to write a thesis that is related to the field project, or only accepted research thesis? Professor Schultz, would you like to answer this question about the field project and the thesis? So the question is it possible to write a thesis that is related to the field project, or only all theses are accepted? Research theses are only accepted.
Thanks for your question. Actually, both is possible. We had that already in the past, that some people actually got interested after they pursued the field project to work on some of the issues that came out of the field project. They worked on and actually wrote their thesis on that. That is as good as another thesis that actually comes up because it is based on some research issue that had been discussed either in class or somewhere else. Indeed. So both is possible, absolutely.
So, and then we have another question from Elena about the field project. So she's interested in knowing if the field project can take place in Italy or in Switzerland. So both is possible. Both in Switzerland and Italy field projects are taking place. But maybe I would like to ask Nicole to tell us more about her experience with the field project.
Yes, thank you for your question. Actually, in my experience for the field project, I was working with Prosenectute, an organization in Ticino, which is responsible for helping elderly people. And together with this, we worked with Professor Albanese, where we helped in an epidemiological study with respect to Alzheimer's disease. So the field project was focused in Switzerland, in Ticino area, but I heard that many other students had the possibility to do the field project also in Italy or with other important associations in Switzerland, for example, the Associazione Ticinese Psicologi.
Okay, thank you so much, Nicole. There is another question from Elena. She says, I have a bachelor in communication and in psychology. Am I eligible? So the entry requirement for this master's program is a bachelor's degree in psychology or a major in psychology. So depending on the total ECTS that you have acquired during your study path, yes, you might be admitted to the program, given the fact that you have sufficient ACTS in psychology. Marco is asking, is there a numerus clausus and is admission granted on a rolling basis? Professor Schultz, would you like to say something about the admission process?
Yeah, yes, we have a number and we actually are going to select. There is a date that you should actually remember, that is the end of July, by which you can actually apply, send your application. We are not going to take everybody, but we select students, so it would be good to apply as soon as possible. However, the rules also of the selection are well defined. So it's not that we only take those who come first, but we would consider everybody. And of course, everybody who has the required
things and conditions actually is most welcome to apply. If you have more specific questions, please let us know, send us an email. But I think that answers your question.
Okay, thank you, Professor Schultz. So we have another comment, and if it is sufficient just to send the academic CV for the evaluation, it would be better to please add also your transcript, the official transcript, and if you have, or your bachelor's degree. For a formal evaluation, we will invite you to submit a formal application so that we can evaluate your admission material. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I don't see other questions for the moment. So maybe I would invite Nicole to tell us more about her experience with the program.
Yes, thank you. First thing I would like to say that I'm really available for any further questions. So please, if you have questions about scholarships or how to live in the two cities of Milano and Lugano, please write me an email. I can help you with my experience. So it's bizon@usi.ch. I graduated a few months ago in March, and now I'm working with Professor Schultz in a research field for doing my traineeship in psychology to become a psychologist in Italy. What I wanted to say with respect to this master, I think that there are two main points that are really good points to start this master. The first one is that we are really well prepared in the research field, but also in other fields. And this contribution is mainly because we understood how to think critically and to discuss what we see in papers and in articles. And talking with other alumni or ex-students, we really feel that we are really well prepared, not only for the job market after we graduated or also before, but also for starting a career in the academic field. Yes. Furthermore, I believe that English is really a good, it's important to know how to speak English, not only to start a PhD, but also to work in the marketing or communication field, also because this opens you the opportunity to go abroad and yes, and live in other countries. So please, if you have any other question or comment, just write me here or by email. I will be available.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. Professor Magarelli, would you like to add something?
If there are no further questions.
No, at the moment, no, I don't see any particular question.
No. The only thing I can say is that, for students, I think it's for students coming from Italy, it will be sort of a fantastic environment where, you can find researcher and teacher which are coming from all over the world. And so, the experience you'll get, it's an international experience. And the fact of not being very far away from Milano, because by train or by car, makes very feasible either to live in Lugano or to commute and do back and forward from Milano. So the point is that, being very near to Italy, you'll get an international experience that you would get only by going. And so this is very positive, and I think is unique to this program.
Okay, thank you so much. So I don't see any other questions from your side. So I hope that you have received interesting information and you have enjoyed our presentation. And of course, please feel free to contact us in case you have additional questions. about the program. I would like to thank you, Professor Margalotti and Nicole, for joining us today. And Professor Schultz, would you like to say something before closing this session?
Well, we are looking forward to get your application. We hope that we get also in this year, so for the next round actually, students who are interested following a program, who are interested in doing some kind of adventure, because this program is a great adventure. It brings something very new to the market and something that is required. As you can easily imagine, right now in the COVID crisis, we got a lot of requests of people who actually have some sound understanding of communication. So bringing together both psychology and communication is a great point for you, and we are looking forward to get your application actually to our program.
So thank you also from my side for attending this session, and we hope to see you, to meet you in September, and goodbye.